Learning English without translating is one of the most effective ways to achieve fluency. When we translate from our native language into English, it creates an extra step that slows us down and often makes our sentences sound unnatural. Think of it this way. Language is a tool for expressing ideas. And translating is like carrying that tool through a long, winding path before using it. But when you think directly in English, you eliminate that extra step, allowing your thoughts to flow freely. Today, I want to take you through how you can train your mind to think in English, why this approach works, and how it will transform your learning journey. When you start thinking in English, you stop depending on the rules and structures of your native language. Let's consider an example. Imagine you see a dog running in the park. If you're used to translating, your mind first processes the thought in your native language. And then you try to convert it into English, but if you think directly in English, you skip the first step and instantly recognize. This not only saves time but also makes your speech sound more fluent and natural. Now, you might be wondering, how do I start thinking in English? It might feel difficult in the beginning, but like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Begin with the small, simple things in your everyday life. When you wake up in the morning, describe your actions to yourself in English. For example, think, I am brushing my teeth, or I am drinking tea. You don't need perfect grammar at this stage. The goal is not to speak flawlessly but to make your brain comfortable with forming thoughts in English. Over time, as you practice more, your sentences will naturally become more complex. Another way to develop this habit is by associating objects and actions directly with English words. Look around you and name the objects you see in English. If you see a chair, think, chair, instead of translating it from your native language. When you're walking outside, notice the things around you and think about them in English. For instance, if you see someone crossing the road, you might think, that man is crossing the road. If it's raining, think, it's raining heavily. This process trains your brain to connect English words with the world around you. A very effective technique is to narrate your day in English. At the end of each day, take a moment to think about what you did, but do it entirely in English. For example, you could think, I woke up at 7 a.m. Then I went to work. After work, I went to the market to buy some vegetables. In the evening, I watched a movie and had dinner. This simple exercise will help you build fluency over time because you're not only practicing English but also forming a habit of thinking in it. Listening also plays a huge role in helping you think in English. The more you listen to English, the easier it becomes to form thoughts in the language. Watch English movies, shows, or videos. At first, it's okay to use subtitles, but gradually challenge yourself to watch without them. Children's programs are especially great for beginners because they use simple language and clear pronunciation. As you listen, try to repeat phrases or sentences you hear. If a character says, "What's your name?" pause and say it yourself. This not only improves your speaking skills but also reinforces the habit of thinking in English. One challenge many learners face is feeling stuck when they don't know the exact word for something in English. Don't let this discourage you. Instead, find a way to explain the idea with the words you already know. For example, if you don't know the word umbrella, you can think, "the thing we use when it rains." Over time, you'll learn the word, but this practice helps you keep thinking in English without switching to your native language. Immersing yourself in English as much as possible is key. Surround yourself with the language, even if you're not in an English-speaking environment. Change the settings on your phone and apps to English. Try to read simple English books or newspapers. You can even keep a diary where you write 1 or 2 sentences about your day in English. For example, "Today was a good day. I met my friends and we had lunch together." Don't worry about mistakes. What matters is that you're practicing. When you think in English, you'll start noticing improvements not only in your speaking but also in your understanding. Your brain becomes more comfortable with the language, and you'll find yourself responding faster in conversations. Initially, you might feel like it's taking too much effort, but consistency is the key. Just like learning to ride a bicycle or drive a car, it feels awkward in the beginning, but soon it becomes second nature. One of the best pieces of advice I can give you is to enjoy the process. Don't treat English as just a subject to study. Make it a part of your life. Whether you're describing your favorite food, planning your next vacation, or even imagining a conversation with your favorite celebrity, do it in English. The more you immerse yourself in the language, the more natural it will feel. Learning to think in English is a powerful tool, and once you master it, you'll notice a big difference in your confidence and fluency. Remember, every small step counts. Start with simple words and sentences, practice daily, and don't be afraid of making mistakes. The journey might be long, but the results are worth it. So, let's make a promise today. No more translating. Let's start thinking in English and take one step closer to fluency. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.